Okay.
I want to keep the baby.
Okay. Well, like I said, I just don't want any kids. You know?
Okay, so what you gonna do? And what you gonna do to me?
Nothing. Why did I do anything to you?
Nothing?
Why did I do anything to you?
No, I know. So like, how are you gonna deal with this? By saying I don't want a baby? That's all?
I mean, if you go to the doctor, I guess.
To the doctor. So you want?
I mean, yeah. Why do you want a kid now?
And why do you make me pregnant now?
Because I'm like, there's no way that's true. But then I said, oh wow, like.
So just think about it. It's meant to be. God
Sorry?
God wants you to have the baby.
Definitely not.
It is. God wants you to have a baby. 7 years never happened, and then you're you're me for a month, and I'm pregnant. What does that mean?
Well,
Now I just think about it, if you force me to kill the baby, then you're a sin.
Well, we already sinned by having sex.
Welcome to the LoveJoy show. Today I want to talk about Fresh and this whole pregnancy scandal. Basically, he got this chick pregnant. She's got all of the I don't want to do any name calling. I don't know this woman personally, but she definitely gives off the common vibes that you see as far as the thoughts online. I mean, the minute I saw her picture, I just immediately defaulted to, okay, I know what this is all about. Like, I already know what the story's about. I know where this is going. But anyway, I decided to play the video. I have some information that I found as far as the text messages and everything. And long story short, he's trying to get her. He does not want her to have the pregnancy. He does not want her pregnant, just to keep it short. And there are some recordings because she claims that, anyway, let me just play the video first and I'll do the commentary.
Hi, Daisy. How's it going?
Kind of shit. No?
Yeah. All right. So I don't know if you know anything about us, but we were just tuning into your sort of stuff going on with Fresh. Last we saw, you kind of posted some of that phone call. Have you posted any more of that phone call yet?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Because it's like
much...
a 37 minutes phone call, and I don't want to post it all.
Just a quick thing that I want to say about this. Notice she has no problem recording a phone call and posting it, but she's supposed to be this innocent girl who, is just trying to get through life, but she happens to be conniving enough to record the phone call.
I don't expect him to come around because I don't need this man in my life. And I knew he's a trash.
So she's calling this man Fresh trash, but she had no problem spreading her legs for him. She had no problem getting pregnant by him. Basically what she's saying is that all she needed was the money out of this guy. She understands the laws. I've said as a joke, I've told men and my friends that women are born attorneys. So she knew these women be so many steps ahead of men. It's not even funny. She already knew what benefits she was going to have. She already knows how the legal system works here. She already knows all this. And these guys are just thinking that because they're ballers and they got clout and they got a following and they got their Instagram is popping. It's like these guys are just they're like just getting slaughtered out here. These women are moving like assassins, man. They're moving like absolute cold-blooded assassins. She knows from A to Z how she's going to play this. And Fresh took the bait.
I don't care about the money. The thing is, I want him to behave like a man. Like he didn't even offer me to like, oh baby, if you don't want to we're not together, you don't want the baby, I can help you, take you to the hospital, taking care of the medical stuff.
Just step
He
up
didn't even
overall,
say
yeah.
nothing of none of that. That's the reason why I got pissed.
So this is all cap. She's going to tell on herself later. She sounds like a politician. She sounds like a CEO or any person who's out in the media and they're trying to convince people one thing when it's really about something else. The common thing that a lot of these types will say, these types of women, they will say, oh, it's not about the money. I don't care about the money. I don't the money. I don't care about the money. But the longer she talked, the more you'll realize that it is about the money. So let's just keep playing.
Okay.
And I'm an adult. I can accept the breakup. But the thing is, we planned for this baby and he knew it. I'm not that stupid. I'm not 18. Yeah, he knew it. We always been talking about the baby. Since day one, he asked me, what if you get pregnant? I told him directly, I would keep this baby because I am in love with you. And I don't, I've never get pregnant before.
Yeah.
So if I'm pregnant, I'm definitely going to keep the baby.
Now, this part may or may not be true. I could see it being true in the sense that obviously he wasn't using protection, and he probably said, I don't want to use protection, but I just don't want you to get pregnant. And what happens if you get pregnant? And this goes into he said, she said. This could actually be true, or she could have said, oh, I won't get pregnant, I'm on birth control. So this part is a bit questionable.
And that's like 100% you've decided that you are keeping this baby regardless of what he does?
I told him that this is what he noticed. He know the information from me, and he asked me many times and he told me many times, you're gonna be the baby's mother, you don't, because I smoke vape. He always take my vape away. He's like, oh, I want you to be healthy, you're gonna be my baby's mother, what if you get pregnant? And even a week ago when I was at his house, he was like, oh, I don't want to rent an apartment anymore, I want to buy the house instead because it's better for us for the future, and what if you get pregnant? He keeps saying that every day to me. So that means he admitted.
Well, you also said that he introduced you to his mom and his whole family, right? When you guys went to Barbados?
His entire family.
Again, this part could be true. She has a lot of detail in this. And if this is true, and you got Fresh, who is part of Fresh and Fit, preaching about, the type of woman to choose and all this other stuff. And meanwhile, you got this chick who you didn't introduce to your family. You're trying to build a house with her. You're telling her about, what happened, what you're going to do with the kid and about y'all's future. You're basically planning a future with this chick who presents herself as a thought. I'm sorry. I got to go by what I see. Just her social media. It screams thought, man. It just does. It just does. And she starts to slip up in the interviews too. So you could just it's got thought prints all over it. So what's crazy is that Fresh is actually trying to build a future with this thing. I mean, he's talking about, it's just, guys be so delusional, man. But anyway, let's keep going.
The reason why I want my own space is because I knew he wanted to see other girls, and his job, because of what he does, obviously he's going to deal with other women, associate with other women, which is fine for me. We had an agreement, on that. And I know all men, to become successful, they wouldn't want to be with just one woman. And I told him, as long as I'm the man, that's fine with me. Just use protection and don't bring me disease.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. What did I tell you? I've been preaching this for years. I said that this society is going to evolve into more concubines. She just said it out of her own mouth. She said, I know he's rich. I know he's got other women. And guess what she said? She doesn't even care. She just wants her own apartment. And as long as she's got her own apartment, she doesn't care what he does. That's why I tell men, just focus on yourself, because once you do that, you'll be able to have as many women as you want. If you got the money and of course the power and status, or even just the money, you won't have you'll have your pick of women that you want. But however, the problem with men is they think that that's going to be the path to happiness. That is not going to be the path to happiness, because you cannot confuse money, power, and wealth and access to women with happiness. All you will have is just money, power, wealth, and access to women who really don't give a damn about you. And that's why a lot of men get this money and power and status, and they end up popping pills, or maybe, wanting to delete or something like that, because they don't understand. You just got to understand that this world that was sold to you is not true. This is tit for tat. This is what can you do for me? This is Janet Jackson. What have you done for me lately? So as a man, you have to adjust to this society, and you have to say, okay, if this is how the game is going to be played, then this is how I'm going to play it. Because women have gotten the memo. Women understand the society they're in. That's why she said, hey, I don't care. Look, just give me an apartment. You can do whatever you want to do. You got the wealth. You got what I ultimately want anyway. However else you move, I don't even care. All that other stuff about what I say about what I want out of a man, forget all that. Just give me my apartment, send my check every month, and we're good. So, men, you got to understand, you got to start adapting to this and knowing this is where the society's headed.
Let's say he turns around, he's like, hey, you know what? I kind of behave like a dick and douchebag. I'm going to take care of it. I'm going to step up. Would you kind of let him, or is that bridge kind of already burned? Is that like gone, that opportunity?
No, it's gone. It's gone.
It's gone.
For me, he's nothing to me right now.
Okay. And in the future, right, if the child decides that they, want to meet their dad and wants to be an active part of their life, is that like something that you'd be super positive with? Is that like something that you probably like, I'm not so sure?
No. He cannot see the child.
He cannot see the child. Okay.
Yeah, because he's not acting like a dad.
Well. She got what she wanted. So basically, let this be a lesson, men. She got the pregnancy. She doesn't want to have anything to do with him. There's nothing that he can do now to step up and be a part of her life. Because you know why? She got what she needed. She got pregnant. And that was her ticket. So she doesn't want to have nothing to do with him. She just said she's not going to even let him see the kid. So again, this is a cold-blooded assassin, man. This is exhibit A that guys on the internet tries to warn other guys about. This is the type of woman that Fresh and Fit have been preaching about. This type of woman is like the poster child of what men get on the internet to try to warn other men about. Bottom line, she got what she wanted. She got the pregnancy. She's not about to let this dude be a part of her life, because she never liked him in the first place. She wanted that bag and she got it. And the second thing is, she's not going to even let him she's not going to even consider the possibility of him seeing the kid. She just said it. You cannot make this up, man.
Okay. Let me ask this. In the future, if your child decides that they want, even at an early age, to get to know their dad, for the sake of like your child, right? Would you consider being supportive of that, or would you be like, no, your dad wasn't there, he's an asshole, this, that? What would be the case here if it was the child asking to get to know their dad?
Well, if it's legally, I don't have to, like, my child doesn't have to see him, then I won't. Yeah, but I'm not sure right now. Like, I don't have a indecision right now what to do about this baby, because like I don't know. I'm not sure.
As you can see, this woman she's not even sure she would ever consider this man seeing his kid. And what she's really doing is it's not helping her argument. She should be more like, no, I want him to see his kid. I want him to be a part of the family. You know, it's his kid. You know, I want to have this family. She's not saying that. She's like, look, I need the money, and he's not going to see the kid, period. She can't even take a hint out of this interview that they keep trying to keep asking her. They keep trying to give her a chance to sort of redeem herself, and she's not even picking up on it. She's just like, no, I'm not going to let him see the kid. Now, she did finally say, you know, right now, I'm not thinking about that. At best, that's what she said. But let me tell you, man, having a family and with women like this, that is like an inconvenience for them. That is like, you know, I don't know yet. I don't know if I want him to see his kid. I'm not even thinking about that. You know, it's not even on the menu for her right now.
And then things just got serious. He asked me to be his girl. He asked me, not I didn't. Because I always told him if it's just for fun, or I didn't even care. Like before I met him, I was single. I didn't even care to be in a relationship.
I actually believe this part. I do believe that he pursued her and wanted to basically simp for her and not the other way around. I think he was infatuated with her because I've said a long time ago, men will impart, they will see a woman of beauty and they will try to impart personality characteristics in her. Basically what I mean is, and it's been shown in psychology, the more prettier a person is, the more forgiving you are of that person, and the more people generally will try to relate to that person. You know, I'll give you an example. If a person is ugly and they steal, people are more prone to say, "Oh, they're just evil. They're just an evil person." Whereas if a person is pretty and they steal, people can actually be more forgiving, and even in a lot of cases, they can even sympathize for that person. They can say, "Oh, well, maybe they were hungry, or maybe they you know, everybody makes a bad mistake in life. We can't just throw the baby out with the bathwater." They would actually make excuses. So what I'm trying to say is that he saw her beautiful appearance, and I think he just became infatuated with her. And then she got close to his, you know, basically he introduced her to his family and everything. It's just simp 101 behavior. I mean, you know, it has the writing all over it, you know. So this makes sense to me. I think Fresh actually did try to, you know, lock her down, so to speak.
He asked me.
He asked you.
He asked me one day. He came to me. He was like, "I love you." I'm like, wow, this is so fast. He said to me, "I love you," and he said, "I don't want you to be with another man. You better don't be with another man." That's what he said.
Now that's absolutely insane. If he said that, that's just insane. That is Super Saiyan simping right there. That's Dragon Ball Z level simping. If Fresh said that, that just goes against everything that and don't get me wrong. If you're a guy listening to this, I'm not saying unsubscribe to Fresh and Fit. All I'm saying is they throw some jewels out there, man. But at the end of the day, guys are just trying to get a nut out here. So everything else is just BS. As a matter of fact, I actually got a little sponsor called pleasurelist.net. If it's a webcam review site. You can see tons of women that look just like Daisy or better. Again, it's called pleasurelist.net. Feel free to visit it. But this goes against everything that Fresh and Fit, and I don't really want to throw Myron under the bus too. But again, I'm not saying I don't want to throw. What am I trying to say right now? Damn. I'm trying to say is they do give out good knowledge, but you got to take this stuff with a grain of salt, man. You'll never see me create some type of podcast where I'm basically berating OnlyFans models. I've had videos where I talk about, you know, if a girl gets into OnlyFans, you know, the pros and cons of it. Like, yes, you can get on OnlyFans as a female and you can make it work for you, but it's not going to be easy. So it's like, that's the kind of way I approach things in life. Yes, you can hit that track but it's not going to be easy. These are the things that you got to think about. If you still decide to hit the track, here's my number. Okay. That's how I roll. You know, yes, if you get an adult entertainment, yes, you can make some money, but this is the stuff you got to think about. Now, if you get on adult entertainment, if you're going to get on the hub, send me your link, baby. That's how I roll, because I know, like, but trying to preach of one thing and then trying to do another, it's just like, you know, and what really gets me is that they be on here, they be chastising these women. They be on here chastising and preaching to these women and pointing a finger at them and you know, talking about how they are 304 in thought, and then they're gonna turn around behind the scenes. And I don't want to say they, but you know who I'm talking about. Fresh is gonna go behind the scenes and say I'm in love with you. I know you're a thought, but I'm here to make you my housewife. That's just weak simp behavior, man. I'm sorry. You know, that's some weak simping right there. And every guy's been there. I've been there. I'm oh my gosh. I mean, let me just say this real quick. Just a quick interruption. I mean, I brung some roses to a stripper in a strip club one time. I was down bad. So I'm not trying to sound like King of the Hill here. I know what Fresh is dealing with. Yes, she's bad. I used to be there. I used to be the same one. If I had the clout and money that Fresh had, that could have happened to me. Especially being younger. That can happen to many guys. You know, because you see that beautiful face and you start fantasizing and you start thinking, maybe I can change her. Maybe I can show her a good lifestyle. And if I show her all that, maybe she'll fall in love with me. I know how the thinking goes. You know, I know how the thinking is. I used to think that way. I recently finally started thinking different. I mean, you can know the truth about something, but that doesn't mean you're going to actually practice it. You have to absorb the game. You have to absorb it. It has to become a part of you. So I'm not saying, this isn't a fresh and fit expose or anything like that. Any man can succumb to this, but we got to let this be a cautionary tale. As you just heard her say that he pursued her. Now, could she be lying? Of course, but something tells me that there's some truth in that. So let's keep going.
You are I was admiring you. I've been admiring you for a while, and I've talked about how wonderful you look. You're beautiful, banging body. What is it that you saw in him? Because to me, it appears to me physically that you're out of his league. So I guess I wanted to know, what did you see in him? Because we know what he saw in you.
Yeah, I know. What he sees me is, I know I'm not just only beautiful because I'm kind. I was taking care of his mom when his mom was in town. Like, I was being very nice to everybody. All of his friends liked me. I have a good personality. I'm confident. I'm independent. So he sees me in that. Maybe he sees me in that's my weakness. That's why he takes advantage of that. But what I see from him is, this is my first time in the state, everything was new for me. I met him, I was like, I wasn't planning to meet him. I wasn't planning for that. And then I went out with him one time. It was really fun, romantic. He knows exactly what I want. And he's very good at playing games. And he made it looks like real. It felt like real. I still couldn't believe that he just...
Now that was a really good question, because she's basically saying, look, I see your pictures. You got a banging body. You can have any man you want. Basically, what did you see in Fresh? And of course, she, goes on to talk about, what she saw in him and things like that. And really, to cut to the chase, she basically saw money, power, influence. That's what she saw to Fresh. She saw an opportunity to come to the United States. Fresh looked at her, and obviously he liked what he saw. He saw the banging body. It's simple as that. Now, I'm on the fence about the fact that Fresh led her around his mom. I just find that don't sit right with me. Letting these thoughts in your personal space like that that's not a good look, man. That's not a good look. You got to vet better, Fresh. You got to vet these hoes better than that. You can't have them up around your mom. I'm sorry. I'm not saying, you know, all the other stuff you did with her. The only thing I would tell Fresh that he shouldn't have done is not use protection. Everything else, that's on Fresh. That's on Fresh. Now, obviously, I'm sure his fans would take issue with the fact that, you know, and even I do, with the fact that you preach one thing, but behind the scenes, you're doing everything that you preach against. That to me is not cool, because you got all these guys out here following you, you know, hanging on to every word you say, but behind the scenes, you're simping, your simp levels on 1,000. I mean, that's just not cool. That's misleading. And, you know, I think he owes his fans an apology. I think he should at very least say, hey guys, you know what we talk about, but we all fall short. Yes, this is what I did. You know, this is where I'm at in my life. And, you know I need to do better, and I'm working on it. At the very least, he needs to do that. So I don't know what he's going to say. I'm going to check out his podcast, but that's the bottom line. That's what all this is about. And, you know, she's talking about she's an independent woman and all this stuff. She's an independent woman, all right, but she's about to be heavily dependent on that pregnancy and that money that's going to come with it. So anyway, let's keep going.
It's just a feeling that I'm with him. He made me so happy, and he's so romantic. And I liked his lifestyle, I guess. That's why.
I actually believe that part is true. I'm going to tell you why. I used to work with models back in the day, and I think I'm going to start working with some models again in the near future, but I was working with some of the most beautiful models. I mean, they walk in a room and your mouth would drop. And I had no money. I was broke most of the time. I had just enough money to get from point A to point B. But, I mean, I was in college, okay? I was in college. So, you know, college students don't have any money. And I'm not a trust fund baby. I got student loans. I mean, I had to work. But I was doing some fun stuff. I was doing photography, and that was cool. And, you know, I was with the models. And the cool thing about when you start working with girls is that you get to really see how they think. And that was really good for me, because we see life from a male perspective. A lot of times when you can see the female perspective, it can give you a more comprehensive picture on how things operate. But I say all that to say, I was broke most of the time. But me and the girls, we were so cool, and to where they would help me out, I would help them out. We were all like just really partners in crime. I mean, we weren't doing anything illegal, but you know, we're talking about a time before OnlyFans. We're talking about a time before, if girls was posting in lingerie, that was they had to think about it. And we were ahead of the curve. I'll just say that. So we were already pushing the envelope, and that in and of itself was a certain type of lifestyle. So what ended up happening is, man, I'm at my house. I got two girls running around, you know, damn near butt ass naked, in some cases actually naked, and I don't have I'm broke, man. We're talking about who's going to go to the store and get what. But I did have some means. I mean, I wasn't down bad, but I didn't have all the money in the world. You know, I didn't have all the money in the world. I could obviously afford a few things, but it was nothing major. I didn't have over $1,000 in my bank account. At any given time, I probably didn't have $1,000. If I had $1,000 in my bank account, those were good times. Those were good times. Those were like, oh, we balling. I got it. I got at least $1,000 in savings. You know, so that I can believe that. A lot of men think if they just get a lot of money and they go out here and they can get any woman they want. I mean, you can get a woman, true enough, but to get a woman that's really gonna rock with you, there's also the lifestyle part. You know, women, they want to have that lifestyle with you. So, and if they can't get that lifestyle with you, they will take your money, and then they'll go have fun with the other man who doesn't have the money, but he has that lifestyle that they like. So these women are mix and match out here. And I'm just keeping it real. I'm not even talking down on the women. I'm just saying that in this case, I do believe what she's saying. I think that it's not always about the looks. I think Fresh and Fit have a fun lifestyle. They're at the boat parties. They're around the celebrities. And if she's hanging out with him, she's at the boat party. She's around the celebrities. So it's that lifestyle. It's that jet-setting lifestyle. Whereas, yeah, she probably knew other men who were handsome, but they had boring lifestyles. They had all the money in the world, but they weren't really doing fly shit. So I can understand where she's coming from with that one. Let's keep going.
So when you when your identity was exposed to his audience, what did you think what he did as for work on his show and the things that he said as a man about women, how he felt about women? Like, what did and of course the way his audience treated you, like, give me your impression on how did you feel about all of that?
I actually argued with him about this. Like, I was always telling him, Myron, something that Myron says on the show is not true. That the reason why he behaves like that, maybe he comes from a Muslim family. That's why. But he never, like, Fresh, he doesn't really speak on the show. So, like, and I don't really understand the show. Before I knew him, I don't even know about, like, this show. I don't know anything about this. So I only paid attention afterward. So, so for me, he explained to me, it's just a work, you know, it's his work. And he doesn't behave like that with me.
I don't believe that part where she said she didn't know what he did for a living. I don't believe that. I just don't believe that. You know, these type of women, they're going to be on that Instagram. If she's got an Instagram and she's got hundreds of pictures or whatever, I don't believe for 1 second that she didn't know who he is. I think she very much knew who he was, but she saw his followings. She saw that he was popular. She saw his followings. She sees that he's got fans and that, you know, he's got this certain lifestyle that she looks like she wanted. I'm sure she went through his Instagram and saw all the celebrities and all the people that he's connected with, and she got excited about that. So I think she's being a bit disingenuous on this part.
But we all know whether he wants to pay or not. By the United States law, he has to pay for the child support.
Exactly. Notice, like I said, she is a born attorney. She knows United States law. I'm telling you, these men be out here walking around looking goofy, and these women are so many steps ahead. It's scary. She already knows the law. She knows none of this is by accident with this woman. She knows exactly what she's doing. I just wanted to point that out, and I'm going to keep pointing it out until these guys out here get it. You see these pretty faces and these pretty bodies, and what you're actually looking at are attorneys. That woman's an attorney. She knows United States law. So she knows what she's entitled to, man. She knows what she's entitled to.
They were asking me, how much money do you think a man should make for a year? I told them $1 million. And that's my standards. He knows my standards.
Daisy, the reason I know you're not for money is because you went 50-50 on that bracelet. Okay.
Yes,
a woman who was for money would never go 50-50 on that bracelet.
And I bought my own ticket to Miami.
I'm glad that she said that, because a lot of guys get upset because these women will have these crazy standards. Like she just said, she wants a man making $1 million a year minimum. That's her standard. So it's $1 million plus. Now, why does she have standards like that? You know why? Well, she's got men in her DMs. She's got athletes, probably celebrities, all kind of guys, you know, messaging her, and they are offering her that. She's used to that $1 million a year lifestyle. And a lot of men get upset about that. And what I say is, look, let people have whatever standards they want. As a man, you set your standards. If anything, if she wants $1 million a year, you could say, well, look, if you're trying to get those type of women like her, then she's already telling you what her standards are. So either you, quote unquote, you know, I guess they call it stepping up your game to get that $1 million type of woman a year. But the only problem is from everything I'm seeing with her, she's not. I would not be motivated to want to make $1 million a year just to get her attention. In fact, I'd be more comfortable making less just so she ignores me and I can dodge bullets. So that's what I'm saying. But again, she's entitled to her standards. There's nothing wrong with having standards. So I'll never get up here and complain about women who have high standards. Shoot, she says $1 million a year. As a man, raise your standards. Say, look, as a man, I want to make this amount per year, and I'm not going to accept nothing less. In fact, this is the kind of woman I want, and I'm not going to accept nothing less. The problem is when men start setting standards, everybody throws a flag on the play. But as I'm saying, if you're a man and you're listening to this podcast, set your own standards. If you want to be a simp and you want to trick off, you already know this woman wants $1 million a year. So you're going to need to have at least $1 million a year plus, because once she hits you for the child support, you're going to be down bad after that. Now, if you got $1 million, you can absorb that punch, but you'll no longer be a millionaire. So she's got, and the reason why she has these high standards is because she has this certain lifestyle. She wants that child support. She wants that support. Now, I will give her credit because she did say they went half on this bracelet or something. So, you know, cool, tomato. They went half on the bracelet. Okay, so what? But at the end of the day, she has her standards, and I'm not going to get upset. And one thing I'm telling you, men, when these women have these standards, just let them be. Let them be. Unfortunately, and I know why a lot of men, and I even know why Fresh and Fit has their podcast. Unfortunately, a lot of women have these ridiculous standards. There's a small fraction of percent of men that's making $1 million a year, but you got women, again, it goes back to the concubines. You got women that are saying, you know what? I know there's a small percentage of men, but I'd rather be one of the side pieces of these millionaire men than be a wife to a regular man. And that's how you get society to start to fall apart. But the way that we can keep society going is that men adjust and say, okay, she's not yours, she's just your turn. And they start looking at this life that we live as a transactional type of lifestyle that it is. So I think men are just going to start waking up to that. That's why I said I think they're going to start legalizing adult entertainment more. And men are going to start learning. Unfortunately, it's going to affect women. In my opinion, they're going to have it the hardest. Men will adapt at some point, but the scary thing is, what are the implications for our future society if men have no incentive to start families? And I think that's why we have a lot of immigration coming in. So anyway, let's keep going. Let's keep going.
I'm just curious. Can I ask a question about for the kid? If Walter apologized for everything and came clean on everything, wouldn't you want him to be involved in like your child's life?
But why would you care about that?
What do you mean? Well, because he's the most important person that we're talking about right now, right?
Yeah, but why do you care about he's gonna be a part of my baby's life?
It's not just your babies; it's both of your babies, right? And doesn't the child?
Yeah, but he doesn't
wants to be involved.
Yeah. It's both of our baby, but he's not acting like a man. So, do you think he has a right to see the baby?
Do you think you have a right to child support?
I don't. I mean, he doesn't need to. That's fine.
Well, you said the U.S. government said he had to pay, but the U.S. government is also going to make you share custody with him too, right? Whether you want to or not, unless you have a compelling reason not to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I will let what government decide to do. If they decide that, okay, my child have to see him, then that's fine. But if the government says, okay, my baby doesn't need to see him, then that's not unnecessary.
So you're hearing it from the horse's mouth. You're hearing it exactly from the horse's mouth. She does not want this man to be a part of this kid's life. That is an inconvenience for her. It is literally an inconvenience for her. She's just like she doesn't even want to entertain a thought of this man being in his kid's life so that they can have, at least this kid can have a father figure. And what happens when you have kids that don't have that male and female part in their life? They end up dysfunctional on average. They did a study of these juvenile elephants that didn't have like their male counterparts, and they went crazy. They became like, they literally formed elephant gangs. And it's just the coldness and callousness of how she is just like, it would take the U.S. government to force her to make her allow Fresh to see his kid. And this is assuming he actually has comes around and says, you know what? I apologize for everything. I want to be a part of my kid's life. She's like, you know what? I don't even want to hear it. And the reason why she doesn't want to hear it is because of what I said earlier. She got what she needs. She got the pregnancy. That's the bag for her. So she doesn't have to deal with Fresh anymore. She got what she needed out of him. She's ready to move on to bigger and better things. She's ready to take that child support, invest and do whatever it is. Maybe pursue men that she actually really wants to pursue. Or maybe not. Maybe she's not even into men like that. She might have a girlfriend. Who the hell knows? But this is what it's all about. And it's so good that this is coming to light so that men can understand the kind of world they have to navigate through. Anyway, keep going.
So don't
you're
you
leaking DMs on
speak
Instagram.
for
How are
him.
you don't care. You're not caring. The child right now is just a money ticket for you. You're not caring at all about the child. Why are you leaking
What is
all
the
of this
money?
publicly?
What
the money is the
what
child
the
support that
money?
you think that you were talking about earlier. That you're very familiar with the U.S.
Who
laws.
are you? I'm here because I got invited from the owner. Who are you? If you're not owner, don't speak to me. Because you have no right to talk about my situation. It's not
You're
even
literally
about
on the
money.
internet talking about your situation everywhere. What do you mean?
I'm talking about the situation. It's not about money. What do you know about anything?
Shout out to Destiny for calling it like he sees it. That's exactly what the kid is. The kid is a money ticket, and truth hurts. Hit dogs holler like a mother. You heard her. She got so upset when he called her out, because that's exactly what this is. So he finally just called her out on it, and he said, look, let's just be honest. This kid is a money ticket for you. That's why you don't even want to consider having Fresh in this kid's life, because you got what you needed. This kid is just a bag. This is a bag. That's what that kid is. And men need to see this, and they need to digest this and understand that there's women out here that they're cold and they're callous and they're ruthless. Okay? Look at it. At least with people like Fresh and other men, a man can change, and a man can say, you know what, she's gonna have the baby. That's my baby. I need to step it up, and let me try to be a part of this man's life. And you got these women that's like, you're not seeing the kid. I'm not gonna ever let you see the kid. Never. I just want that check in the mail, and if I can't get that check, I'm gonna make sure the U.S. government tracks you down, because this is business. This is my bag, and it's just horrible. And you end up with a population of single mothers. Okay, and there's no dads around, and then these women will complain, where are the fathers? Well, look at her. Look what she's doing. It's crazy. It's really crazy. So I can understand the role of podcasts like Fresh and Fit and why they do what they do. It's just really ironic that this is happening to Fresh, and this is all the stuff that he preaches against. So anyway, let's keep going.
I'll take out. This woman is a fucking piece of trash, though. She's ruining this kid's life because she just wants to milk this guy for money. You're actually subhuman filth. Just letting you know that. Good luck. Bye.
Shout out to Destiny for that one. That was a mic drop moment. Shout out to him. Shout out to Destiny for saying what needed to be said. Cheers, brother. Cheers. 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 He said what needed to be said. I could not put it better. I could not have been better on that podcast. That's exactly what I would have said. She's trash, period. Trash. And when she's confronted with it, she gets upset. So it is what it is. He called her out. She doesn't even want this kid to even have the chance of having a normal life. Pregnancy aside, simping aside, thoughting aside, okay. But you don't even want to try to have this kid have a healthy life. So Destiny was just like, you're trash. You're trash. And he's right.
Honey, I don't do 50-50. I want you to know me. I don't do no 50-50. My man will pay for everything.
I'm stupid, right?
Like, it's not that you're stupid. I think it's your inexperience. Because sweetie, when
No,
I
I
look
am
at somebody
experienced.
like you,
It's because I love him.
no. You only had
Look,
one serious relationship prior to him, correct? You
no,
just
but
told me
I've
that.
been associated with men. Men pays for everything. In China, even in
So
China,
why was
men
he
pay
the
for.
exception, though?
See, this is the type of toxicity that we have amongst women. So, for whatever it's worth, this woman Daisy is saying that she did buy Fresh a damn shirt, and this other woman on this podcast is giving her, a lot of flack because she's like, you shouldn't pay for anything. My man pays for everything. It's kind of like we've gotten so materialistic in this world to where everybody's keeping tabs on who paid for what. Why don't people just care about each other? Why does everybody have to keep tabs on who paid for what? She's like, the other woman was like, my man pays for everything. I don't. And then got mad at Daisy because Daisy was like, well, I paid for this. And she's like, what, girl? You paid for what? And it's like, why is that an issue, man? And when you move around in this world and you're not spiritual, you're not trying to grow spiritually, this is how you sound. This is just how you sound. Like, you got women who actually, that's why you got a lot of women that are saying things like, oh, my man's got to be 6 feet tall, or my man's got to have 6 figures, or my man has to be making $1 million or 100,000 a year minimum, because these women are under pressure by other women. And other women come along and say, girl, you did what? Girl, you dating who? How much does he make, girl? What? He only makes 50 grand a year, girl. Ooh, you got to step it up, girl. What? He's only making 100 grand a year, girl. You got to step it up. Oh, girl, what? He's making 500,000 a year and he just bought you that? Ooh, girl, I wouldn't stand for that. What, girl? He's making $1 million a year and that's where he took you? Ooh, Women are be women's biggest enemies. They really do, because you got women that will be jealous of their friend and they will try to create a lot of confusion behind that. And next thing you know, the friend, they get the girl to break up, Next thing you know, you got your friend, your female friend. Let's say you got 2 women and one woman's in a relationship with a man. Well, her so-called friend will break that relationship up, and a few weeks later will be in bed with that man. That same man that she was talking about against, telling her friend to break up with. And she'll be in bed with that man. That's how these women be getting down out here. They will break up your relationship, you will run away, and then they'd be in bed with the man they told you to break up with. That's how they getting down out here, man. So women, y'all have to be careful on the kind of advice y'all are listening to. This whole keeping tabs on who pays for what, that's just like, first of all, I'll be honest. Me personally, as a man, I want to pay for everything. That's just who I am. I want to be the one that pays. I don't want to call my girl and say, oh, I don't know, baby. I don't know how we're going to pay for this. No, I want to be like, you know what? We got it. But at the same time, it doesn't have to be a golden rule type of thing. It doesn't have to be a golden rule. If she calls me and says, you know what? You pay all the time. I want to pay this time. I'd be like, you sure? Okay. All right. But there is that certain part of me as a man where I want to be the provider. I want to be the one that's paying and making sure everything is straight. And I think that's just being a man. I think that's just a normal trait. I mean, we men like to feel good when we handling business. The problem is our manly nature is like being used against us. It's being turned against us, and now it's seen as weakness in a lot of sense. And that's the sad tragedy of all this. The sad tragedy is that I have to think when I'm going out just trying to be on my man stuff and trying to show a woman a good time. The tragedy is she's keeping tabs on all that, and the minute I fall short, or the minute I mess around and do something that she don't approve of, or the minute that instead of ordering this I order that, or the minute I do one little small thing, it's gonna be like, oh, nope, I'm done. Nope. He ordered water and he didn't get lemons. It could be anything. So anyway, bottom line, we've gotten so materialistic we're not even focusing on a person anymore. We're focusing on, even for men, we're not even focusing on the women a lot of times. We're focusing on, what she looks like. What we're not even thinking about what she's got between her head. We're worried about what's between her legs. And it's like, so there's a lot of blame to be shared amongst all of us. It's like Fresh has been preaching. He's been on this podcast for years trying to warn men about these types of women. And here he is. Anyway, keep going. Anyway, that was a long podcast. I want to see where that. Anyway, if you look up the Destiny podcast, you can find it. In fact, I'll provide a link. It's a lot longer podcast that they have as far as that whole interview. So what I want to do now is I want to go into these text messages that I can pull up. So just give me 1 second. So here's coming from Fresh. So this is what's going on. This woman Daisy basically texted him, and she said, let's just read it here where we got it. She said, "So you always told me you wanted me to be your baby's mother. I loved you and I did everything to be a good girlfriend. Now this is happening. You walked away. I think I want to keep the baby. I don't want to kill a life. I want you to think carefully and take the responsibility." He says, "I'll call you shortly." She says, "Take your time." He texts her back and says, "I can't have kids." And she says, "Take responsibility for your actions." So let's go to the next one. So she sends him this screenshot where the doctor says she's basically 3 or 4 weeks pregnant. And, Fresh is like, "What's this?" She's like, "Read it. Blood test, pregnancy blood test." He says, "I know, but what does it mean? I don't understand the numbers." And she's like, "Oh, okay." And she says, "It's our baby and you want to kill our baby. You're not being a good human." So here she is. She's doing the moral high ground thing. She's saying, he doesn't want to be a good human. And he replies, he says, it's not about that right now. It's not good. And a lot is happening, especially now. Business may be over. I don't want kids right now. And we spoke about it and you agreed. She says, "I never agreed. I agreed based on your actions. You're not educated if you keep basically, you can read the screenshot. She's basically, if you keep releasing your seed in me, I will get pregnant." She said, "I don't have to get pregnant with," I don't know what she means. She says words mean nothing. So she's giving you a really good insight into how she thinks. She's saying words mean nothing, but she's always talking about her words and how they mean something. So there you go. She says, "I'm not saying I want to be with you because you're nothing to me, but the baby is innocent." So what she's really saying, she's being halfway true with that. She's really saying, "Look, I got pregnant. I don't want to have anything to do with you. But I want the bag, and the U.S. government's going to support me with that." And Fresh says, "You should have a kid with someone you are in love in the same household." And he says something about man up. Like he's asking her, like, "What, you're telling me to man up?" He's like, "I'm telling you now so you know." She replies, "I don't expect anything anymore since we're not together. I got pregnant with you when I was in your house and when I was in love. What does love even mean to these women nowadays? Like, I don't even understand that word love. Love needs to be replaced with something else." But anyway, she goes on to say, "You wanted to have the baby. If you didn't, you did." Okay. Basically she's saying you released in me with your pleasure. She's like, be logical and be a man. I didn't get pregnant for myself. It's not fair for the baby." So there she goes. Again, words mean nothing. She's saying it's not fair for the baby. But when they was asking her, "Hey, if this man wants to be in the baby's life, what you think about that?" And she's like, "I don't want to have anything to do with him, and he will not be in the baby's life." So anyway, they just going back and forth. And let's go on to the next one. I'll have a link to the text. I can't read all this nonsense. I'm getting tired of it. Fresh basically says it was a joke, and she's saying, "All I'm saying is you should take responsibility for what you did." she claims she's a victim in a relationship and she's carrying his baby. I mean, the way this woman talks about the baby, it's almost like the baby's just a purse. It's just, she's like, I'm carrying this baby, I'm carrying this money in my stomach, and you know, this paycheck in my stomach, and you're responsible for paying me. That's basically how this it just sounds to me. You know, if you replace baby with paycheck, you can see how she's thinking. You know, let me see. So I'm gonna just skip through. You read enough of this stuff and your brain just turns into mashed potatoes. So anyway, I'll provide a link to the text that you can read and you can go through it. But with that said, I'm out. Guys, let this be a life lesson if you're listening to this podcast. Again, this has been a LoveJoy show. Please subscribe if you want to. If you made it this far, be sure to hit the like and subscribe. I'm out.